And with that, my husband and I moved the tank into our wall, and everything was beautiful. And look how beautiful it is. I'm going to put fish in there right now. Everything's great. Look how awesome. Woo! It's so white. It's so wonderful. Wow. Except that our plumbing is totally not done yet. So, woo! Well, obviously, we're going to have to wait for a plumber. Our main drain is cast iron. It needs to be ripped out, and I can't be ripping into walls above open water, over live fish, living in a glass box, dropping hundreds of pounds of cast iron onto it. Nah, I don't think we should do that. And we also need a toilet moved right over the fish tank, so we're going to be moving it back on the upper floor. And we don't really want human waste dripping into my discus display. I don't think that's a good idea. So we're going to be shifting the tank out of the way and just letting the plumber do what they need to do. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell you a story. A story about a seed. So sit down, relax next to your fishy friends, grab a tea, and we're going to go back to the beginning. Long ago, when I was but a little girl, my parents would leave me with a friendly old couple who babysat me on weekends, after school, all the time. They were like a third set of grandparents to me, and I was one of those lucky kids that, who up until recently had all of their sets of grandparents. So I've got my two natural sets of I had my two natural sets of grandparents, and this lovely old couple that would take care of me. But yeah, my Nana and Papa were my favorites. They were amazing. And at their house, in a probably 30 to 40 gallon tank, was a single Oscar fish. And his name was, wait for it, Oscar. And I loved him. And I loved waking up from my naps or in the morning and asking Nana and Papa if I could feed him, and I would hang out with him, and he would like display at me and come out to the glass and visit me, and he was just a great fish. Oscars are wonderful. But one day, the son who had left him with Nana and Papa came and took Oscar home, and I was heartbroken. So after asking my parents' permission, I came home from school, and Nana and Papa had left me a little blue betta fish in a fluted glass jar with a ribbon on it. And being 8, I couldn't come up with a name, so his name was hyphenated. It was like a hyphenated hybrid of the Powerpuff Girls character and some famous novel by Peter Benchley. His name was Bubble Jaws. So I effectively named my first fish BJ. It's a terrible name. So obviously I was over the moon. I loved this fish. But I knew nothing about keeping fish. And the most important thing about fish is that when you're keeping fish, you're not actually keeping the fish. You're keeping the bacteria with the fish. But I didn't have to worry about that yet, because every Saturday my mom and I would put BJ in a measuring cup on the counter, clean his single plastic plant, the Sonic the Hedgehog blue gravel, and fill his 3-gallon hex tank with fresh water. And for nearly 2 years, BJ lived a life most betas dream of. He eventually did pass away, and that was, really hard, but I think for a first fish, he lived a pretty good life, which is better than most betas I've heard of. But anyway, we buried him in the garden, and a few years later, I got my next tank, and it was a 10-gallon. And not long after that, I got a 20-gallon. And when I came back from a trip to visit my dad, because my parents had separated at that point, I came home to a Marineland 46-gallon Bowfront tank. And this time I sort of knew what I was doing, and for 12 years that Bowfront was my aquarium. It was my baby. I took care of it throughout high school. I took care of it through college. I the same fish. Some of the fish were like 12 years old, and they were still alive. But life gets in the way, and I gave it up to be with him. And for 6 years, and for the rest of my life, he is mine. And yeah, it's the story of, you know, my husband and what happened to my fish hobby. I gave it up for him so we could move out and start a life together. But he knew I missed the fish. And so when we bought a house, and my birthday came around, my husband said, "We're getting an aquarium, and you can get any one you want." So I chose this beautiful rimless Seapora crystal that they're looking at right now, with a custom black stand. And I planned it, and I wanted a peninsula style tank viewable from both sides on my end of our kitchen island. And this time I wanted discus. But discus are, one, expensive, and two, they get huge. So I kept my eye out, and instead of buying fresh discus, I bought used discus, ones that had already reached full size and hopefully wouldn't grow anymore and crowd my tank. You can obviously see the problem here. The problem being that I'm really good at keeping fish, and those discus that I got that I thought weren't going to grow anymore came out of their stunted state and started growing again. And literally within 6 to 8 months, they had each put on 1.5 inches. This is an early video. Some of these fish are about 6 to 7 inches across now. So, whew, that's a lot of fish. So, now my 65-gallon tank has become a new seed. This is the seed for my bacteria. And we're going to break it down. We're going to rescape it because I have to replace the floor underneath it. And we're going to set it up so that it can feed a new bacteria culture for the 150. And while all that work for the plumber and all that other stuff is being done, we're going to harvest and build that bacteria colony inside of another filter with lots of biological media, so that when the 150 is up, I can seed that tank with all of that beautiful beneficial bacteria that's keeping these fish alive. So for now, we are going to take the opportunity to rescape the 65. There were things about it that I would have done differently. And we're going to turn it into a beneficial bacteria factory to feed the new tank. Okay, my house is a mess because I borrowed a fish room. This is the tank. I spared you the part where I sifted every ounce of sand in the tank and then proceeded to put the aqua soil that I had initially into these filter bags for media, so that I no longer have this crap all over my sand. Somehow some of it has escaped, but 99% of it is gone, which is so relieving because every time I saw it, it was bothering me. So I've gone ahead and I put the hardscape back. It's basically in the same place. I added a bit more shiro stone because I want to like make a nice little wall here, and there's lots more room for swimming. We like swimming, yes we do. These are my discus. They're very happy. They know something's going on. They're like, "What are you doing, mother? You're gonna do stuff again. Yesterday you tore apart our house." But basically this video is just to teach you that you can rescape your tank with the fish in it if you need to. There are procedures in place that you need to do. First and foremost, you're going to protect that bacteria that you've worked so hard for. You have my filter down here, and all of my media is the same. It's just a 307 or a 407. And the next is you're going to save as much substrate as possible. All of the sand is original. I just added more on top. All the plants that I had before are going back in. 99% of them. There are so many. Part of the reason I did this is because the plants were choking each other out. There were so many plants, And now I have so many plants left that I can scape a tank, scape the one downstairs if I really wanted to, and also give them to my local club. So that's what we're gonna do. And let's do it. Okay, for my rescape of my 65 gallon, I have spared you the part of the process where I sifted every ounce of sand in my fish tank and got all the aqua soil out of it that was scattered in it. So now I have all my plants. I've got, these are all the plants that I had in my aquarium. Here we have Alternatheria reddecki, yeah. Rotala, got lots of brown crypt, water lettuce. We've got another type of crypt I can never say the name of. It starts with an A, but it's like a crinkle crypt. Very big. Maybe a little too big, but it's not staying in there. And then I have some small microsword, I think. This one? No, I think it's like some other thing. And this is Helanthium tenalis. And then I've gone ahead and I bought an onion plant, a ocelot sword, and I got 2 red tiger lotuses because I'm sick of waiting for the bulbs to grow and I just want to have nice big tiger lotuses. So I treated myself. So I got those, and I'm gonna let the tank clear a bit because I added a bit more sand. Got that today, and then I'm gonna escape. One of the other things that my Nana and Papa used to do was when I was having quiet play by myself time, they would put on classical music, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for you. You are going to be listening to Mozart's Piano Sonata in B flat major. And now for some beauty shots.